all over the place like Poonka
Poonka.
or Poonka donkey.
Yes.
I put the donkey in brackets because, according to the folklore, things get added on all the time.
Bajan is love a line, and we could talk about anything, anywhere, anytime. So get your drink, join us, and relax. Well, that's at the same time too. Anything you want to know, it's on the table.
Greetings all. What's up?
Hey.
Hi Shayla. You good?
Yeah, good.
Long time no see.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's good.
You right
it's
on
good.
here?
No, I didn't write today.
Okay.
The weather was looking a little shaky, and I brought along a drum that I have in the car in case, right? And the float. So I wanted to make sure that I have what is required if required. So I didn't write today.
Okay. I didn't even know that you actually write.
Yes, I've been writing for many years. When the guys say about Poonka, why you wait till you get so old to write? I would usually say, well, when I was writing, your mom didn't know your dad yet. Not sure how long. So we ain't really getting into the figures.
Yeah.
But I write.
But
yeah.
you like speed anyhow.
I like speed anyhow. I waited to see how the qualifying will come out now for Formula One, the first race in Bahrain. So I love that.
I didn't even know that you used to race.
Yes,
Here.
Barbados Motoring Club. I'm a founding
So there you
member.
go.
And I was driver of the year twice. And
What?
then it started to get too expensive. Yeah, my trophy's home.
Okay.
Yeah. I like to look at them sometimes, And interestingly enough, my mom didn't like me racing. She didn't like me riding either. But when I bring home the trophies, she tell me one of the trophies gotta stay by her. You understand? So
not all of a sudden
that's
she
how
on
the
board.
moms are. Yeah. That's how some of the moms are. But that's all right. I have no problem.
So driver of the year. So
Yeah.
how we even get there?
How we get there? But I had an old Escort, a Mark 1 with the round lights at the front. And I modified the engine and thing. And my right foot was always a little heavy. So I used to slide it both and do all sorts of things. So you do a host of events over a period of time and you accumulate points. So the person with the most points will be the driver of the year. So that was me, and my brother was second to me. This is my older brother. He was supposed to be able to drive better than me, right? But it didn't work out, right? I put some licks in he too.
He can hear this,
Don't man.
He can see
But he
it.
will
too.
say it's true. That's all he can say. It's true. Yeah, so you accumulate points, you then drive with the year and you get trophy and thing, you get big up and whatnot. No cash. I don't even know if any cash operating now either with the Bushy Park and whatnot. I did Bushy Park a couple of times. Not as an official driver, but I was working with the crew. And so there was always a race for the people who were doing crew work, like around the track, servicing what goes on, flags and whatnot. So you get to do a little racing there. I had a nice Swift GTI. It was half and half. Again, that was one of my first. The first person to paint a car straight down the center. So all of this left side was black and all the right side was orange. So when I pass here now, it's one car. When I come back, it's a different car.
So you had a design too, right?
Yeah, but I didn't even know if it was a design.
But it was a design.
Yeah.
It ended up being one.
It ended up being one.
Right.
And I only probably saw one other copy, but they did the half the other way. Instead of straight down, it was a cross. So the whole front coming at you is one color. And then the back will be a different color.
That's so cool.
Well, mine was interesting because they had even the wiper on the orange side was painted orange. And the rims. And then the wiper on the black side was black with the rims. So it was crazy.
Yeah,
But you always know when I come in because from the front, you can see two colors.
exactly.
Yeah. Sweet.
I
Good time.
sure didn't have nothing else on your looking like that.
Nope.
So that was original.
Not at all. Not at all.
And about how old you were at 18?
Let me see now. Probably 20s, 20s, 30-ish. When I was driver of the year, my first driver of the year was actually 79. So, and the second one was 81. So youngish, in younger branch. Yeah.
I know I'm going to ask you where you from 18 because I know you had other adventures going on that
Yeah,
time too.
I always have, even now, It's plenty adventures, you know, like when I leave here now with you, I'm going to go by the ICF and work with John Hunt, Dr. Hunt with Last Ship because they're trying to revive Last Ship and so on. So they asked me to make sure that the tutors understand what top bar music and so on is about in relation to the Last Ship. So that's something else I'm doing. I'm also doing another flute class. You might be interested in hearing
Yes,
about that
please.
because I know you're a flute player.
Yeah.
You don't know how
I
that has
started
been
with
going. Yeah, you started
That's
with me.
going pretty well, actually.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
But
I
you know,
enjoyed
you
it.
usually send me a little.
I can send you one. I can
Yeah,
send
send
you. I
me
can send you
a
one.
recent one so we can
Yes.
hear
Yeah.
what going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So that is one of many firsts.
One of many firsts.
One of
That
many
is true.
firsts indeed. Yeah, because
So
there are
you-
others.
there are many others.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember how many firsts there were.
Bring it up to Calypso.
Bring it up to
That's
Calypso.
one.
1983, I took in Calypso. You know, like just like how David Rudder had put Tassa and so on into his Calypso, right? I put took. And it has come down the line. Lots of people using it. They may not say that I started it, but you know, it passed through this ring bang syndrome. But it's really took, and it's still being used, and it's you can always feel it. You know, Lil Rick and Edwin and other people, they just have it there in the music. That's a nice bed. So that was a first for me. What's the other first? No, I think
We talked about these CD.
yes, one of my first is
And I
creating.
have one.
Right,
And I
creating.
enjoy mine.
Actually, we did two CDs. One was indigenous music, where you had some calypso, some negro spiritual, and also the back in time things like what Seaman and Potato Mouth and so on used to play the real traditional songs. And then we did some Christmas, did a Christmas CD as well. And that CD was a few Bajan Christmas songs and then some of the traditional Rudolph and All Holy Night and stuff like that. So that was the first. And one of my dreams was to produce a DVD of how to play Tupman music so that anybody, any party world could pick up this DVD, 45 minutes. It goes through the rhythms, what you play on each drum, how they combine together, and at the end you get a combination of the different rhythms, the waltz, the fassi, and the tuk. And at the end of that, you should be able to, if you practice, be able to play all the rhythms. We also have scored patterns of the tuk phrases, the things that you do for each rhythm. That scored, I did that with my late friend Derry Atkins. Really miss him. He was one of the main arrangers who would be a proponent of tuk music. And he was from Guyana. But I didn't even remember that. I don't remember those things. It's the person I dealing with.
Yeah.
So that was another first. I was probably the first person to play penny whistle with the police band. Because I was able to do that when we had the Republic ceremony in Bridgetown last year. That was interesting too. Any other first? Let me see if any come back to me.
It will come back because it's
Yeah.
there's a
We
phrase
don't.
that everybody uses all the time.
Yeah. That's the one.
Right.
All over the place, like Poonka.
Poonka.
Or Poonka donkey.
Yes.
I put the donkey in brackets because, you know, according to the folklore, things get added on all the time. So I might hear something 20 years from now if I'm wrong. I don't, but you never know. That I don't know about because as the folklore goes again, I don't know the donkey was added on. It was really all over the place like Poonka. And then people heard about the fact that the donkey was the only thing left at the stadium in 1983 when we were rained out and there was no king. And there was a controversy as to who was leading the show in terms of me and Plastic Bag, me and my
Really?
top band rhythm thing, you know? So to answer a question that I was asked earlier today, after 1983, my top band used to be, the following crop over, top band used to be all around different parishes because all the top band men had motorcycles. So we'd be going around on scramblers. In those days, you had the community activities where you go and play at different events, any party island. So So I'd be in St. Lucie and then we would end up in St. John and the person would say, but Poonka, you all over the place. But we know here you playing in St. Lucie, how you get here? And stuff like that. And then it was catching on. And then I sang a song called All Over the Place. In that song, I have four Poonkas on stage, or four people that look like Poonka. I was one of them. And one was my brother and another guy called Ricky. He works in the Ministry of with Education, and then another guy called Tank from the Bartel. So there were four Poonkas. And Mark Finger will tell you that when he introduced the song, he didn't know which one was me. And I had North and South and East and West, you know. So this phrase now has become part of the Bajan vernacular. And I'm not aware of any other Calypsonian who has been able to achieve that either.
Me neither.
So that's another first.
Yeah.
You know, they use it in court, they use it in football, cricket, they use it at the shooting range when you can't shoot a little group together, and I'm also a part of that, right? I'm a member of the Pistol Club, and I've been with them probably for about 25 years. So I practice from time to time, keep things in line, you know.
And not all over the place.
Not all over the
Not
place.
this
Exactly, you got it right. You got it right. You got it right. Yeah.
Okay, so I know you all over the place, not just in Barbados, but outside Barbados too.
Yeah, we have traveled. We meaning Rukatup, because I formed Rukatup officially as a company in 1998. Registered and everything, pay all the VAT and taxes and whatever. I like to be straight up. So we went, I think, before we were actually Rukatup, we went to Cuba. Cuba, Carifesta, 1979. And it went on from there. We had our Carifesta in 81, and then we were in between Cuba, we went to New York the same year with the general, the consul general at the time was, I think, Clyde Griffith. Beat me bad in draft and thing. I like draft and chess and dominoes, by the way. You know, you gotta do other things, you know what I mean? And we went from there, we went Germany a few times, North Carolina, South Carolina. We went on the Mississippi River playing Bajan. We went New Orleans. We went to England, Commonwealth Institute. We also played in Radio City Music Hall. Just imagine coming up on the stage from below and playing Bajan. And we had some lordship, some girls from Hinesbury School. They were primary then, and they're doing well. But that was a very interesting time. We had Seaman with us as the veteran in the crew then. Well, now I might be the veteran in the crew if we go anywhere. So what? Germany, Venezuela, Guadeloupe. We went Colombia as well. Well, not we, but I perform as a percussionist now because that's something else I do. I'm a percussionist with the festival band from the beginning until, well, I hope I get a shot again this year because they could still move and flex the hands to float. The only break I had was when I was singing Calypso between 1983 and 1995, 12 years. And not to boast, but in those 12 years, I went to finals 4 times. And I went to semis 9 times. So they said, people used to say that I'm a favorite, that they like me and thing, and this body on the judging panel know me and the next thing, but who don't know me? So like,
Exactly.
it becomes a problem like this body favor this person. I don't get it. I just do what I had to do. I come last the time, but I told them they had 167 participants. So if I come here for the stadium out of 8, I really stood there. I did quite well.
Top 8.
Yeah, that's right.
You're in the top 8.
Island.
That's what it means.
That was interesting. I think that was my last year I did Black History. Strangely enough, you know, in the music industry, they say that the Calypsonians and so on don't produce songs for different times outside of crop over. I have done Christmas music. I have done independence music. I even have a song called Black History. The month just passed. I haven't heard it played once. I think Alison Hines also has a song about Black History. I don't know if they played hers because she might be more popular, you know. But I think the research should be done when those times come to see what has been put out there. So you don't feel as though you wasted your time.
So what was the motivation behind writing the Black History song?
Well, one of my trips, oh yes, we went to Hackney, England, because the mayor over there was a Barbadian and he was being sworn in. So we went over, it was actually Arturo Tappan was with us. We had the top band, we played some conga drums, some people from Yoruba, Paul Thorne on trumpet. And while we were doing that tour, we went to an exhibition. And it amazed me that these things are not taught to young Barbadian children to give them some reason to aspire towards even invention or creativity and stuff like that because they don't know what went before. So when you hear about heart surgeons and traffic lights and iron boards and all these things, even the electric bulb, that we get tricked thinking that it was this Thomas Edison guy. They had a slave in the background that had to show him how to put the vacuum in the bulb to get the light to stay on. But he doesn't get any mention. So in the whole swing of things, I recognize how much input Black people had into the world and the different aspects of things in this world that we are not taught, we're not told anything about. And I vex about that because you wait till February and wear some clothes and Hollywood. Black History Month is a joke.
We black every day.
Which is what is the section of the curriculum that will show these young people how many things went on with Black people, right down to the Egyptians and the pyramids and all sort of things. Like, so that's a whole stage, that's a segment of education that really is totally missing.
Well, I know you used to teach.
Yeah, I used to teach. I used to
Big part of
teach.
your life.
That's right.
So I know you would have.
30 enough years.
All right then. So I know you would have shared some of that knowledge
Of course,
at some point.
Spanish and French actually were my subjects. People thought I was teaching English or music. I don't know why. Maybe a top band player is supposed to speak Spanish or French. I don't know. But, you know, you have these little things attached to different things. But I enjoy myself. And the best part of the teaching is the student who was taught me and said, sir, you know, the most I remember in Spanish was when we used to beat on the desk and sing the days of the week. Lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, and sábado, domingo. And they would stop me any place. I remember this, sir. That's the only thing they remember. And likewise for the French and so on. And they don't pass me. The part about it, especially the Allen School students, that's my place. I went to Harrison College, right? But, you know, I also was deputy acting head at Princess Margaret, and some of those teachers are students as well. We are close. And that's the best part of teaching for me, that I could look at students that pass through me and see how far they get. Way ahead of me, and I feel proud. And they know that. So we get along well, even the ones that I had to put some licks in. Because in me, I tell them I love you the same way, but if you do stupidness, your whole piece. And I will ask you 2 days later, you're still vexed with me. And I go back and I say, but sir, we going back normal. You know what I mean? It was great. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. It's a great conversation, great
That's
time,
right.
great drink, great place.
Yeah, now you say great place. This is the lime bar. The word lime is not to do with acidity. This lime is, you could come here, talk to people, you can have a drink, you get something to eat, you got the TV show with the football, you got Wi-Fi. In here, by this evening, you will see in here a fairly round place. Even during the week, you get all this section inside here, people just sitting down talking, having a beverage, having some food.
And one of your favorite places.
One of my favorite places.
You know you get
watering
pigtails
hole.
here.
Yeah, of course you get pigtails here. Sauce.
Yes.
And other good foods, pork chop and macaroni pie. You get your cocoa, cream yam, beef stew, lamb stew, chicken
Everything sounding
stew.
good. Everything sounding good.
You know,
They raise the
cocoa,
money.
you name it. So just pass through. It varies from day to day. So anytime in the area, there's the line bar
All right.
to have a good line.
As the name I just mentioned, the line bar. So it's a bar where we just come and hold a line before there's today's Saturday, so you know most people gonna be going to the Gold Cup. So me and my son just come up to have a drink, as I does here pretty often, and enjoy the good breeze off the stadium. You find a lot of guys that retire here. Yeah, there's a retirement bar. Most of the guys that hang here during the day is retired. So here's where we meet. Here's where we meet on 5 days a week. Saturdays also, not on Sundays. But saying that most of the guys that come here just drive, so you know you gotta limit your drinks. You shouldn't even be driving and drinking. So you just gotta limit how you're moving. And you'll meet some ladies also is come and hang at this bar. Not only men, because as men we want girls in the place. Because the idea of liming at a bar, you want to see girls also. And pretty ones too.
It's my first time at this bar, and I usually pass and see friends and colleagues here like me when I pass, and I just happened to decide to stop here today. So far, it's not bad. I haven't ate anything, so I don't know how the food is, but service and thing is very good. I will, tell anyone you can pass by and you can see the rain and how it's blowing, and you're really relaxing. And you meet a friend, and it's a good atmosphere.
You know what we're gonna talk about? The history of Tuck.
The history of Tuck. Yes. Only recently I've been reviewing some stuff that I made a contribution to. Some people who did their doctorate and so on in ethnomusicology and consulted me about these origins. And this has been confirmed by several people, Ilombe Motley, Trevor Marshall, Kerwin Betts, lots of people who've been doing their research. And I found this out very early, which is that when the African drums were banned on the plantations because the Europeans found out that there could be communication from village to village. You hear the sound of the drums, and therefore a message is being passed as to when you could get together and have a rebellion or something like that. So they banned the use of African drums, and there was a death penalty attached to it or a big fine for the plantation owner. It was terrible. But, as resilient Africans, we decided we got to be able to celebrate and stuff and still infuse our rhythms and patterns into the music. So we watched the marching band from time to time, checked how the drums were made, and we infused the marching band beat with our African high life rhythms. So you wouldn't hear it much in the waltz, but you will hear it in the Fassi,
For sure.
which was the march, was supposed to be a march. And I say supposed because we really tricked them into thinking that we are copying what they were doing. And as for the tuck, with all the polyrhythms and so on going on inside there, it was out of everything bad is good. Because we are now able to say this is a Bajan phenomenon because of how the rhythms were played. Because each African tribe had different rhythms. You will find things that are similar to a Tuck band right through the Caribbean. And when we were in Cuba in 79 is when I discovered how many similarities there are. But nobody plays what we play in terms of the structure of the rhythm. And we don't use like accordion and side flute and stuff like that. We use the penny whistle. We used to use the fiddle before. And before that, we would just be singing. So you have the Tuck band with singers. You have the Tuck band with the fiddle. And then you have the Tuck band with the penny whistle.
Nobody don't play fiddle anymore?
Not really, not with the Tuck band. You get the fiddle maybe in an orchestra, you call it the violin or whatever. But what was interesting is that there was a Celtic group from Ireland that came here, and we were asked to play with them. And let me tell you something. It was the same thing in terms of Fassi, right? The Fassi in particular, what they were playing as their Celtic beat was exactly what we played. So we just fit in there, so like, pling, no stress, and we played with them, and they could understand how It just fit in.
Yeah.
So that's part of the history. Don't forget Ireland was around before England. You know what I mean? I think a lot of the slaves and stuff that were here early were not, not necessarily just strictly Africa, right? Other things were going on before that, right? So the turban then, it grew, and a lot of the rhythms and the extra beats would have come now from our Bajan experience over the years. So it's come to where it is now such that we talked about additions. We are now adding pan, saxophone, trumpet, clarinet. I have no problem with that. It's called development. But at the same time, we don't forget the traditional fife and drum, the penny whistle.
And we love the penny whistle.
Yeah, Well, you have your penny whistle.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're going to keep playing it.
Yeah.
And I've been asked by the Ministry of Youth to do a seminar with 12 flute players. That is to start next week. So I'm planning for that. I'm a little busy right now. With that.
You're very busy right
leaving
now.
here and going to do the landship stuff. But even with the landship, the penny whistle is very important as the leading instrument in the top band. That is the leading instrument. We can add the percussion, the little thing like a ling triangle, and we had a guy called Timothy. He had a piece of metal, and when he started to play, poor fella, he gone. We used to enjoy playing with Timothy. It was loud. You could tell when Timothy was playing. And you could use other things, shakes, any type of percussion. But the mainstream is flute, kettle, and bass. Sometimes you double the kettle with something called a vamp. The vamp will keep the steady rhythm, and the main kettle would put in all the flurries. So
Love it.
I teach myself to play all.
Yeah.
know
I
what I
can do the
mean?
same thing too.
Exactly. I played recorder at school, and coming out of that, I transferred to the penny whistle. 3 less holes, but you get your octave and stuff. You get 2 clean octaves, and I just enjoy it. I play a penny whistle up to what it is. Saturday. I play a penny whistle Thursday night
All right.
at Sugar Bay Hotel.
Sweet.
A wonderful show. Bougainvillea the night before.
Yeah.
It's a thrill.
Yes. Yeah.
There's
yeah.
nothing like top bomb music. It just has hit me right in here. From the years when I was a little boy here, the top bomb coming in, Seaman's Village, Bridgeton Hill, with Seaman and Potato Mount and Bessie. And I say, see that? I gotta learn to do that because I love it.
But it was awesome having this chat with you.
Likewise.
Yes, I had a good time. You revealed some secrets I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't know there were secrets.
Yes. Well, I didn't know about the racing.
Well, the
So
racing
secret
and
to
the
me-
bike
And the bike. So probably not to anybody else, but a secret to me.
to you.
I didn't know if you got any more in the bag.
Well, the only other thing I can tell you, years ago I used to write. I have written folk songs, not just calypso. I have written short stories, and I have written poems.
And you have them, like
I
you
don't
can
even
read
know where
them,
that
or you
is.
want to share them.
I
don't know where they are.
I remember some of my poems were performed at NIFCA.
Okay.
From when I was at school, I also took a dance troupe to NIFCA from Arlene School, and we got a gold and a silver the first year, and 2 silver the second year. A big 30-piece percussion ensemble with all sorts of tots and cans and all sorts of things. And it was wonderful.
So last question. I know
Go
you
ahead.
travel all over.
Yes.
I know you did many things.
Uh-huh.
I know that something crazy had to have happened. So what's the craziest thing that ever happened in your travels and your adventures?
Whoa.
Or one of the craziest things that ever happened?
Well, I remember not traveling with music, but I went to an exchange program in Martinique, and we went out on this truck. And this guy was driving this truck real crazy. And there was this, like, a crevice. I know it was. But he was going forward and back, and I was scared. Like, suppose he don't press the brake enough and he go over there.
Yeah.
Also in Martinique, one of the first motorcycles I rode, it got away from me, and I went down in a woman's shop with all the brooms and things. I mashed up the place, and was so ashamed. I had to pick up the bike and run. And on a more comical note, we were performing on stage in I think it was South Carolina, and when we were there playing, I see all the fellas looking at me and laughing and thing. It's only after we finished and come off that they told me that I had on my costume back
Back
to
to
front.
front.
And inside out. So those are some of the interesting things. I remember in Cuba for Carrie Festa, I ended up being the translator because Cuba is Spanish. And then there was a group from Martinique there, and they didn't have any Spanish person with that. So I was in this circle trying to organize the stage, English, Spanish, French, English, Spanish, French. And I thought that was exciting. And I still love my languages, any chance I get.
Of course. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was fun times.
Yes,
And I always like to say, fun times are more fun with fun times. So
correct.
cheers.
Cheers.